Well, guys, we just got out of a movie that it looked interesting, but I didn't know how good it was going to be. Honestly, I didn't know what to expect.
And Matt Damon, it had to be good.
It was really long. You can tell a movie's really bad if you're like always checking the time, but like for me, it felt like the movie was just so interesting, and it was telling such a like good story that I never once thought, oh man, this is too long. I actually felt like at times that it should have been longer.
Yeah, I think they did some cuts.
Yeah, most definitely. But I will say this. I was like, because you were like, I'm there early. Should I get popcorn? I was like, probably not. I can always eat before. Thank God you got me Coke and popcorn, because I don't think I would have lasted. I'm being dead honest. Like, I did not know how long this movie was going to be. And I swear I think I would have, like, I don't know, passed out from starvation at a certain point.
Oh my gosh.
Alright guys, we just got out of the movie The Last Duel, starring Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Adam Driver, and of course Jodi Comer, who I mean my first seeing of her was Free Guy. Yeah. She was great there.
Absolutely.
And she's great here. I honestly think she deserves an Oscar nomination and a win. Because I walked in for Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Adam Driver, because the trailers weren't really that focused on her, but I will say she is the driving force, and the emotional impact and the meat of the story is really just Jodi. I feel like this is the first Me Too movie in the Crusades. The first Me Too movement where women have to be like, that's not okay. You know, women should have rights and men can't just treat us like a piece of meat, you know? And for that reason, and for a lot of other reasons, I just think this movie really blew my mind. I was just completely enthralled by the soundtrack, the cinematography, the acting, the details of costume and set design. Really just, and the action. Like, there's some, like, actions, it's not like an action movie, but there are action set pieces.
Oh,
and
yes.
Those action set pieces are actually pretty phenomenal, I would say.
They're so intense.
Yeah.
So intense.
Part of me reminded me of Gladiator, but then I realized it was Ridley Scott who directed this, and Ridley Scott did do Gladiator, so it makes a lot of sense that
he did amazing with the action scenes.
Yeah, like, and just like like, you know, when I watch Gladiator, just the Colosseum and the detail around, like,
I need to watch it again. It's been a few years now.
Me too, but I remember just feeling like I felt like I was in that Colosseum with Maximus and like that entire like era. It felt like, it didn't feel like a movie. It felt like I was literally just going back in time, and like somebody put a camera back in time and told you exactly what it was like. That's what this movie did really well. It was so engaging. Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. Like, I recognize Matt Damon, but it took me a minute to recognize Ben Affleck. When you were like, that's Ben Affleck, I'm like, that's Ben Affleck. Like, my mind just didn't, like, you know, really, like, see him until you said it, and then I saw him and I was like, okay. Adam Driver is just, I feel bad for him. Like, Adam Driver's like always playing a villain. I'm like, can somebody at least give Adam Driver a role where he is a good guy for once? Because he's so good at it, though.
He is really good at playing a villain role.
Yeah, like you hate him in every movie you watch. You're like, I hate this guy. Well, no, Marriage Story, I didn't hate him there. I don't know if you saw that or not.
Never watched it.
He was very compelling. Great acting by Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver, and they were both very sympathetic characters going through a really bad situation. So like that was one of the only movies where I feel like he was playing a good guy. What else can I say? I don't know, man.
This was a very interesting setup, the way they did it, because they end up with 3 different perspectives.
Oh, the chapters. Yeah.
So basically there's a chapter from one guy's side of the story. It's like his and hers.
Yeah, so the first chapter is Matt Damon's character story.
Mm-hmm.
The second chapter is Adam Driver's character story. And then last chapter, in my opinion, the best chapter, is Jodi's story. Like, the first two stories are good. Like, I was never bored. I wasn't like, whatever. But, like...
They definitely didn't show all the pieces of the story, though.
But it also shows how... Like, there's something beautiful about, without spoilers, what they think happened and how they're treating her versus how she feels like she's being treated.
Yeah.
From a masculine men world is very fascinating.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what really sold the movie for me, was Jodi's point of view and what she feels and how she felt it. I mean, her character is married to this guy who is just like, I guess he's a knight.
He was a squire. Him and
Adam Driver both
were
are
both
squires.
squires.
Okay, so what's a squire exactly, if you can...
I think it's essentially someone aspiring to be a knight.
Oh, okay. So they're not
It's
knighthooded yet, they want to be.
Exactly. So they have a certain skill set. You know, they obviously fought in like some of those battles and such. They had more command than your average foot soldier, or, you know,
like they have more
like that, but
leadership qualities and like potential to
become a knight. Yes.
Yeah, or like, I guess they're like higher middle class of the Crusades time.
Yeah.
I thought that was really fascinating how they showed that. And then Ben Affleck plays, who was he?
He was a lord.
And what's a lord?
He was essentially like ruler of a certain territory for the king.
Oh, so he's like he like controls a state in the country.
Pretty much.
Okay,
yeah,
so he's like a governor, maybe
sort of
if the president is a king. And okay, interesting. I thought that was really interesting. The political play.
That was incredibly interesting.
You know, in the beginning, I was like, "Oh, Adam Driver's trying really hard to like make Matt Damon's character like, look, I'm your friend. I'm here for you. Like, I'm trying to help." But then he like completely changes and turns on Matt Damon, and then like you see it from Ben Affleck's character's point of view. Like, Adam Driver has this like weird relationship with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, and I feel like he's kind of like in the middle of it all. And if he didn't do well, the trailers give it away, which is, you know, Jodi's character in the trailer. So if you haven't watched the trailer, Jodi accuses Adam Driver's character of basically raping her. But in the movie, it's not like that's just what happens. In the movie, it's kind of like Adam Driver is trying to please and help Matt Damon because they fought together in this battle in the beginning of the movie, and like Matt Damon's character saved his life. And then like you go back to, and then like I guess Matt Damon's broke. And he owes money to the Lord, that is Ben Affleck's character, but he can't afford it. So Adam Driver's kind of like, okay, let me go talk to the Lord, that is Ben Affleck. And Ben Affleck's like, I don't like that guy. That guy sucks. I don't care for him at all.
That was hilarious.
And Adam Driver's like, no, like he's good. He's trying really hard. He's a good fighter, and he like respects the king and everything. And Ben Affleck's like, yeah, okay, whatever. But there's also a friendship between Adam Driver and Ben Affleck characters also, and they have more like a brother relationship, while I would call Matt Damon like a friendship that isn't as close as Ben Affleck and Adam Driver's relationship.
Yeah.
And you know, I do think, I mean, every single person here besides Jodi's character is not a good person. I wouldn't really say Adam Driver was ever good or bad, but most of the times he was actually trying to be decent, except for what happens in the movie. Matt Damon is he's like a whiny crybaby. That's how I felt about Matt Damon's character.
I think he felt entitled.
Yeah, and he
was an entitled character.
It's like, I deserve respect, and if you have to ever tell people you deserve respect, then you don't deserve respect. Respect doesn't come from you whining and complaining about it. It comes from your character naturally, and people look at you and say, yeah, that's a respectable character.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck is just, you know, he's like the Trump, just sleeping around, or any leader, not just Trump, but like, you know, most leaders who are kings at the time are just, you know, they have money and privilege, they sleep around, they have a wife, but they're not really, you know, and they don't care about the people that they are kings over. All they care about is how it makes them feel, look good. Basically, Ben Affleck is just a bad lord, I would say, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Adam Driver does accounting, finance, taxes?
He basically was a squire who was staying with the one lord, but he ended up like as that lord realized his skills, he ended up doing more things for him.
Ah, okay.
And kind of went up in rank due to that.
Oh, because he had skills that was okay.
According to the way Matt Damon's character saw it, it was basically, wow, this guy's just over here, just trying to move up, like, by persuading him that Matt Damon was bad, and that really was not how it was going.
Like, yeah, exactly, right. So there's a lot of politics and a lot of things. I feel like I missed a lot of the like some of the religious stuff. I'm sure they do it. I just I don't know what they're doing, so it just looks weird to me. But
a lot of it was actually like
pretty accurate, I'm sure.
Yeah.
For the time, and that's what I like. I'm like, obviously, it's a very different period in time, and they're not glossing over.
They did things very differently back then.
Right. And so I felt like I was like really like it felt like a history lesson come to life.
Yeah.
But in a very entertaining way. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I really liked this movie. I think I would probably put it in my top 10 at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Better than Carnage.
Oh, definitely.
What else? I don't know. I don't know if it's better than James Bond movie. That movie was fantastic. So
that was fantastic.
But
this one, though, it had a lot more substance to it. Like, I guess you could say its purpose made it better.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Yeah, I guess it's based on a book, which is also, like we were saying after we got out of the movie, it's also based on real events and a book that I guess they combined. I don't know. I mean, to me, I think everybody. I mean, it's a dark movie. It's very intense.
Dark.
Very
rather graphic.
Really graphic, I would
Extremely
say.
triggering.
In a lot of ways.
It's
yeah, you know what?
triggering.
That's a good warning.
So,
if you have a little bit of like, if you know somebody with sexual assault or like PTSD, they probably should not
see this movie.
Yeah,
because this I mean, like, it takes you to the scene of it happening
in a very detailed manner, multiple times, right?
So yeah, I would not suggest this for anybody that would be triggered by that.
Yeah, and for me, like, it was just like it was intense. It was hard to watch, but
it was.
That's exactly what it needed to be if you're telling that type of story. So for me, like, I'm not saying it's entertaining per se. This movie. I'm saying that this movie has a lot of value, morals, history lesson. It offers a lot. And I think any person who is in the right mindset will learn a lot and will appreciate a lot what they were showing and doing on screen without going into spoilers, of course. Yeah, I would not watch this movie again, but I'm glad I saw it. That's my review. What about you?
I might watch it again.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like, basically because I'm gonna try to get other people to watch it.
Okay.
Just because it is a really good movie and it brings up like a very important topic.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, we're about to head into our spoilers part. Just giving you guys a heads up as we go into that. Yeah, so come back later if you haven't seen the movie or want to watch it. So let's talk about it. Jodi has two versions of the same rape scene. One is from Adam Driver's point of view, which he thinks she's weirdly into it. Like she's... Because you see him earlier in the movie where he's like chasing these women, but it's like a fun... Like, he's just kind of... Him and Ben Affleck's character like to sleep around and do all kinds of stuff. So... I guess his mindset
they thought it was fun.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think the other girls liked it too.
Some of them, not all of them. Like the one that was protesting against Adam Driver. Yeah, no, she was not about.
No. I'm not talking about Jodi. Sorry, just the.
No, not Jodi. The other one. Oh. The other one, back when he was with Ben Affleck's character. It was like the same sort of situation. And I think he ended up raping her too.
Interesting. And I thought everybody was on the same page with that. Maybe not.
The other girls there were.
But not that
she
one
wasn't.
girl. Oh.
So, but according to him, because he thought that was fine, he thought it was fine with
Matt Damon's wife.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, he, in his mind, when he's doing it,
he doesn't see what's wrong with it.
Yeah,
which is really messed up.
Really, the only thing he sees when he goes to confession, because he does feel guilty, but he feels guilty for the wrong reason, not because...
He feels guilty because it was Matt Damon's wife, not because he raped her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of shows...
this is a great movie to show the difference between that and the fact that, no, it was rape and it is wrong. You know?
Yeah, no, for sure. And I felt like this movie really... I mean, it just kind of feels like a very important film. You know? Yeah, like even with the Me Too movement, this isn't a new phenomenon. This has been probably going on a lot worse back in the day compared to today.
Yeah.
But it does happen. I mean, I when I got to college, I felt like there are times where I was being flirtatious with a girl. I'm married now. This is way before, in case anybody's thinking like, what am I doing? But like, there were times where I felt like, oh, am I... There was thankfully a part of me where I was smart enough to realize, oh, like, this girl is totally not into me, and like, I'm probably just scaring her. Or I could potentially scare. I don't know. I'm not asking. I just kind of, you know, you just kind of like, okay, this girl's... I'm feeling it out, and it's not... It doesn't feel right. I think I would give credit to men today. There are some bad men out there, but I do think a lot of men can tell the difference. Not to push that button. If a girl says no, it means no, and you know she's not interested. I mean, you can try to get her to somehow like you, but don't force it, kind of a situation. And I think that's good.
Yeah.
I don't know if men were taught that back in the day.
Well, this movie goes to show no.
Right.
Most definitely no.
And
they believed in chivalry to a certain extent, but
yeah,
it was very misleading.
Yeah, because when you saw Matt Damon's point of view, he was just like, oh, like he just comes off like, oh, like
he wants to do things to please her and such,
and he's not doing.
But then he obviously is concerned that she might have lied to him simply because he was a jealous man. You know, he said that from the get-go.
But from his point of view, all he did was just like ask her and nothing else. But then from her point of view, like he was choking her and got all angry.
Well, to be perfectly honest, even if it was like a guy and a guy, he might have done the same thing.
No, I know, you know, but it just seems it was wrong.
It was a very emotional moment, and obviously back then, people did not have very good way of controlling their temperatures. So
or not giving like the respect that women are due. Even the scenes with like she's saying like, well, science says you can't get raped. If you got pregnant, then that means you liked it. Then it's not rape.
Oh my goodness.
And you're just kind of like, oh, that's right. These people are all idiots. Okay. Yep. They don't know anything better, and this is just men making up rules. You know, like you saw throughout the movie, like where men just kept asking Jodi's character, but did you enjoy it? Because if you enjoyed it, you should get pregnant. Like somehow making love and her enjoying it makes it so... like it's okay, you know, and she's like, yeah, I enjoyed it. Then I was like, why aren't you getting pregnant? What's the issue here? Like, there's no understanding of like, that's not. I mean,
well, that was kind of like a separate thing with Matt Damon and her, where basically they thought if she didn't enjoy making love with him, then she would not get pregnant. And so, since she wasn't getting pregnant, she must not be enjoying making love with him, which she wasn't enjoying it, but...
She was or she wasn't?
She wasn't.
Even with Matt Damon?
Yeah, but that had nothing to do with it.
Oh, I did not realize that. So, well, I mean, the doctor brings it up because she goes to see, like, why she can't get pregnant, and he asks the same thing. Matt Damon's mom brings it up and asks the same thing. So it's not just men saying it, women also believe this. Well, if you're enjoying it, what's the issue? And then, like, even with the trial with Adam Driver, it's like, how can it be rape if you enjoyed it? You thought he was handsome. What's the issue? Like, they're not really understanding the consequences of what they're saying and doing. And they're not really trying to understand her plea. And she's kind of like, if I have to die, well, she's like, well, she gets pregnant. And now, is it Adam Driver's son or Matt Damon's?
I think it's Matt Damon's, strangely enough.
Okay.
Simply because of the fact he came out blonde.
But that's her hair.
That's her hair, yes. But Adam Driver had black hair. You would have noticed some kind of variation, most likely, if it had actually been Adam Driver.
Oh, okay. So I just figured that it was her hair and the son just got her hair, but maybe you're right. It could have been Matt Damon's. I mean, I don't...
I think it's rather unlikely for... Well... No, I can't say that because I was blonde when I was a kid. And my mom was a brunette and my dad had black hair.
Oh,
so
wait, really?
I don't know. Okay, no, so yeah, that doesn't mean anything.
I mean, it just feels like, I mean, they kind of left it open. Nobody knows who's, I mean, they don't have DNA testing here. Really, it could have been, like, there's a 50-50 chance.
But being that she was having trouble with Matt Damon does make you wonder.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Well, the movie brought up,
according to the law at that point, since you couldn't supposedly conceive from rape, so therefore it had to be Matt Damon's kid regardless.
I mean, it's just like, you're like, oh my god,
that
like,
was so messed up.
You're like, yep, this is definitely the medieval times.
Yeah,
like, you're just like watching, it's like, this is just crazy.
It was nuts.
But I mean, I really thoroughly enjoyed the film. I was glued to the screen. Like I said, it's like 2 hours and 45 minutes, and I really did not feel that time until we got out of the movie. And of
the
course,
actual duel itself was so intense.
Oh yeah, we should talk about that.
It was so intense. Like, I was literally, like, on the edge of my seat.
Me
like,
too.
I went and
I was
sat
squirming.
up for it.
I was like,
too.
I was like, kill Adam Driver.
And I'm just like,
don't let him win.
It was terrifying.
Because, like, you gotta remember, it's not just, like, if Matt Damon loses, then they burn her at the stake, too, It's so evil and wrong. I'm like, why are you doing this? But thankfully, somehow Matt Damon got the win. And it was crazy that Adam Driver was like, because my soul's on the line, I'm telling you right now, it wasn't rape. It was rape. But, like, he thought he didn't rape. I'm like, and then, like, he was just like, I want everybody to know the truth. And it just kind of sucks for her, because she's kind of like, but now they're gonna, like, see that. They're gonna see that he's basically telling the truth, that I liked it somehow,
But then, thankfully, Matt Damon was able to disprove that by killing him.
I hope. I mean, if that's how the law works back in the day.
That was the logic back then.
Yeah, no, that 10-15 minutes, that was so intense. I even was squirming. I don't squirm, like, a lot during a movie, but this movie, I was like, I felt so bad for her. I was like, oh my god, imagine getting raped, having a son, and then being, like, burned alive. Like, I was like, oh my god, like, please, Matt Damon, figure this shit out. Like, I'm not really rooting for you or him. I'm just rooting for her, and I feel like that's what the movie was trying to really say. You're not rooting for Matt Damon. For Matt Damon, he is so, and, like, he was prideful. He was, like, all about, like, he's, like I said, he's whiny. He's a crybaby. It's all about him and no one else. Yeah, and it was just kind of like, it just kind of showed in spades that, he never, I was like, you don't really love her, do you? You just see her as, well, my first wife didn't have a problem. What's the situation? Like, like, it's your fault for not getting pregnant.
Actually, that's an interesting thing. They never really show his first wife.
I think that's a good thing.
Well, it makes you wonder what his previous family dynamic was, though, because he already had a kid that had died.
But I think it was just kind of like the situation and then Jodi's point of view. I felt like that's what the movie... I feel like what the focus was supposed to be really was Jodi's character and her dealing with this, like, insane situation, having to be like, like Matt Damon's mom says, like why, like, I was also raped, but you don't see me running out and basically, like, ruining my life. I just got on with it. And it's like, well, and she's like, well, that's wrong too. That shouldn't happen either. You should not have to feel that way. And I was just like, yeah, I mean, she's not wrong. Like, you should have said something. But she said I'm still alive though because of it. Because I didn't say something.
There was one funny part with when he showed up at the gate with who's there? Announce yourself, and he's like Helen of Troy.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. That was pretty great. No, I mean, again, we can go on and on, but the story is really good.
Yes.
The acting is fantastic. I hope Jodi gets nominated for an Oscar. I don't know what else came out that deserves this. Right now, I'm just focused on Jodi, and I think she is the heart of this movie. She is the emotional connection to this movie. She is the reason you're rooting for the duel and who to win, not because of Matt Damon and Adam Driver or Ben Affleck, but really Jodi. Jodi is, and I think that's a really great perspective to have, not where I thought the movie was going to go and how it was going to go. I loved, like you said, 3 different versions of the same situation told from 3 different perspectives.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember, has anybody else ever done that before? I don't know.
I've seen it with other things, but not. I
might have too.
Not usually not a historical piece like that.
Yeah.
So that was very interesting. I don't know if you noticed, but there was also a subtlety that kind of caught my eye was the fact that which character was it? It wasn't Matt Damon, it wasn't Adam Driver, it wasn't Jodi, it was
her friend?
No.
Oh, okay.
Ben Affleck. There we go. Ben Affleck, the character who played his wife in it, at the one celebration for
I don't know
him having a son or something.
I think so, maybe. No.
I don't know if you noticed, but his wife had a shiner, which basically meant that he was abusive too.
Oh, I didn't pick that up. Okay.
Yeah, she didn't have it later on, so it wasn't like it was a birthmark or something. No, that was definitely a bruise on her eye. So I noticed that just kind of
something to think about.
Yeah, and it was an interesting subtlety that they had in there that they showed in Jodi's story that they didn't show in the other stories.
That makes sense.
I thought that was kind of cool that they would have that.
Well, it really shows that women were treated like basically no rights. They're just there to bear children and not be a human being. And men, Matt Damon's mom says, men make up the rules, men rule this world, not us. Just you got to remember that there's no changing it. And she's probably right. Obviously, I'm sure only men make decisions on what's right and wrong and what's pure and not pure, what should and shouldn't be. Women's probably don't have a say in a lot of things in that culture. And I thought that was really showing different aspects of these men who all just they probably all died thinking they never do anything wrong, which is crazy to think about. Even just even seeing the confession with the priest or the father, and Adam Driver, all he's saying is, I just.
Well, you know Dante's Inferno, right?
I've heard of it.
It's interesting. I'll say that. Yeah, because he thought basically because he was absolved of all of his sins that him raping this one girl was essentially he was absolved of it, and it essentially it was just gone because he was absolved. And
oh geez,
yeah, so that might be an interesting story for you to look into as well, because basically then he had to fight his way through the levels of hell to I guess you could say kind of purge himself of his sin.
Oh wow, that sounds
it's
really messed up.
It's interesting. It is dark.
All right, we should. I mean, I don't know. Do you have anything else we could talk about?
No, I think that's pretty much it. This is definitely one that is, wow. It's a very important subject.
Like I said, I don't think I was ready for this movie when I walked in. I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, and it's very long, so but it's because it's telling it from 3 different perspectives
and giving you the best version of the events and the story as you can. This really is a meaty movie. There's a lot of meat, there's a lot of story, there's a lot of plot to tell. Well, guys, let us know what you guys think. Check out our spoiler review if you've seen it. Let us know what you thought of the movie, and we'll be back Friday. Can't wait. I've been waiting I would say probably more than a year, because they keep pushing it, and it's finally happening.
Supposed to be November last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this movie's been pushed a year. Dune, Shannon's back. I mean, I think we're all just excited to see it Friday.
Yeah.
We'll be seeing it in IMAX. I know the rest of the world has all seen it. America, for whatever reason, is the last one to see Dune. Doesn't make any freaking sense, but
it's typical at this point. I don't know why are we the last ones to see every movie these days?
I don't know. Sean was like, "Oh, I just saw Dune in Taiwan with my friend like last week." I was like, "What the hell?"
Are you kidding me?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what's going
Come on,
but
Sean.
but I'm just excited. I think we're all excited. It's gonna be. I mean, man, we're getting Eternals, Spider-Man. We have so many movies coming out back to back in the next couple of months. Hopefully they're all good. But yeah, we'll keep you guys posted. Check out our other reviews. Click the link on our YouTube channel. You can also go to geekdommovies.com, which I'll leave a tag here. And Shannon will be back. And then, yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.